Welcome everyone! Welcome to my philosophy video on SCP-3812 versus Ultra Instinct Shaggy. Who exactly would win in this battle of these two extraordinarily powerful beings? Who would win in the battle? Will it be a draw? First, I want to tell you that I'm doing it as accurate as possible with my philosophy on both of these two characters. I'm doing it as accurate as possible. On my philosophy on the two characters. You see here, for example, SCP-3812 is essentially a powerful being which wants to transcend and reach the higher level of realities. It actually has two personalities, two persons, the same SCP, SCP-3812-A and SCP-3812-B. For example, so SCP-3812 was essentially a man. It was essentially a man who later on passed away and later on became SCP-3812. So later on became SCP-3812, which is this basically not omnipotent, because the SCP is not omnipotent, extremely powerful being. Now, just to tell you, this SCP can adapt, meaning that it can reach the same level as its opponents. So you have Ultra Instinct Shaggy on one side. So Ultra Instinct Shaggy is a meme based on Scooby-Doo. And Shaggy here is an omnipotent being, meaning that I do believe that Ultra Instinct Shaggy is not limited by the animation. Instead, he is considered to what the animator does. So if the animator decides to destroy a multiverse just with a pencil, that would be considered Ultra Instinct Shaggy doing that, for example. I believe the concept. That's what I believe. I believe that's the concept of Ultra Instinct Shaggy. Whilst SCP-3812 is powerful enough to hear the reader breathe, like literally can see the reader. He can see the reader. That's literally just how tough he is. Of course, not physically, but in his story, he can see the reader. It's Ultra Instinct Shaggy. You see, despite Shaggy is not the one animating. You know, it's the animator. SCP-3812 the animator animates SCP-3812. So basically, just to say that right off the start, SCP-3812 is nothing compared to Ultra Instinct Shaggy if he cannot adapt, because SCP-3812 cannot adapt, you see. He just can never adapt, so he can adapt, you see, because SCP-3812 can adapt to anything. Just I'm doing my philosophy here. So, SCP-3812 will adapt to Ultra Instinct Shaggy, so therefore they're both omnipotent beings. And when two omnipotent beings battle, it results in a contradiction. SCP-3812 will be nothing compared to Ultra Instinct Shaggy, but at the same time, Ultra Instinct Shaggy will be nothing compared to SCP-3812. At the same time, SCP-3812 destroys Ultra Instinct Shaggy like nothing. And at the same time, Ultra Instinct Shaggy destroys SCP-3812 like nothing. And at the same time, it's a draw, contradicting it, meaning that right now SCP-3812 will have to adapt to him. But the thing is that Ultra Instinct Shaggy will most likely battle this out, because SCP-3812 will not even have the time to adapt to Ultra Instinct Shaggy's power. Like, Ultra Instinct Shaggy will just overpower him before he could adapt. But if we can assume that SCP-3812 is not limited to how fast he can adapt, so he instantly adapts to Ultra Instinct Shaggy. So this means that Ultra Instinct Shaggy would not be an omnipotent being, because he could not stop SCP-3812 from adapting, you see. But then if that's the case, then SCP-3812 would not be a truly adaptable being, because he could not adapt to Ultra Instinct Shaggy, you see here. So at the first scale off, SCP-3812 is much less than Shaggy, because he is not an omnipotent being, you see here. However, still cannot be destroyed, whilst Ultra Instinct Shaggy is an omnipotent being, and he's not limited by the animation, because whatever the animator does, you can just consider Ultra Instinct Shaggy doing that, you see here. So if Ultra Instinct Shaggy, if the animator wanted to destroy 3812, that would be considered Ultra Instinct Shaggy doing that. You see what I mean? So if the animator decides to destroy 3812 like nothing, that would be considered Ultra Instinct Shaggy doing that. Or if the other way around, if SCP-3812 or the animator destroyed Ultra Instinct Shaggy, that might be considered SCP-3812 doing that. However, it